back to my channel. So today's video is going to be me running through how we did our patio makeover. This was a really cheap, fairly simple and very good looking upcycle in our garden. We have decided to do as many DIY projects as we can right now whilst we are in lockdown in the UK. And the patio was something we've been wanting to do for ages now. Originally we were going to just lay decking straight over the uneven concrete slabs that we have out there, and it was looking like quite an expensive task. We weren't going to be able to get labourers out to do it at the moment, and we know nothing about how to lay decking. So instead we decided to stencil the patio. We thought we'll just paint it, give it a go. If it's absolutely terrible, then we'll just deck over it later. But to our surprise, it has come out so nice. I've written a blog post already, which you can check out. I've linked it below, and that is the step-by-step guide. And I also thought I would just do a separate vlog on it too. So my first tip with the patio glow up is absolutely be prepared and have everything you need before you start the task. I've linked all of these links below. With that, you are going to need a power hose or a bristle brush to clean your patio first. Next, you're going to want to prime the patio slabs. We use the Dulux primer. You're going to need a paintbrush for that as well. Obviously going to want to paint it with your base colour. We used Sandex Mason paint. You're going to either need a roller or a sponge for this. We sponged it on because we wanted a rustic look. And then you're going to need your stencil. We got our stencil from Dizzy Duck Designs, and that is also linked below. You're also going to need your stencil paint. We went for a charcoal black colour. There's an option to tape down each stencil as you're stenciling. We didn't bother with this and it was absolutely fine. And we stenciled on probably the windiest day of the year. But if you want to be extra cautious, then tape it down with a light tape like frog tape. It's all plastic, but it's like really hard bristles, so it scrubbed it off quite easily, and as you can see it's now tinged green from the moss. This is the paint we're using. It was just off the shelf from B&Q. Ultra smooth micro seal masonry paint. I went for this colour, gravel, which is kind of like a stony greyish, although we've done a testing slab and it's come up quite grey purple, and it's quite a contrast to the cream wall. But now in lockdown and there's no way we can get back to B&Q to change it, so it is what it is, and we're just going to paint it because it's probably not going to make a massive difference. So I'm going to pour this out now, and we are going to sponge it on because I want it to look quite rustic. In between priming and painting the patio, we swept it again just to make sure it was absolutely clean. Then we began sponging on the Sandex paint. It went on really thickly and gave a really full coverage. And painting on this base layer only took us about 30 minutes, and it had dried within an hour. We did decide to leave 24 hours between putting on the base coat and the top coat of the stenciling, just to make sure it was fully dry. So I'm calling it a day in the garden. We've painted the patio and going to stencil it tomorrow. Day 2 of the patio stenciling. The worst day of the year to stencil because it is so windy today in this we've just done the first one. Freddie can't come up here because he's got muddy feet. And it's so good. It's come out really, really nice. So I've got about 3 hours here, I think. I'm really happy with that, Fred. Are you?
It looks great.
When you start stenciling, I would start in one corner and work your way out. We started in the top right hand corner of our patio and then did the stenciling line by line. I would also suggest that you clean the stencil every few tiles that you paint, just to avoid having any bleed come through. We noticed that the paint did get clogged up on our stencil and it did cause a bit of tread on the white paint. Okay, so I'm about an hour and a half in and I've gotten this much done. It's probably not even a third of the way through. It's taking a long time, but it's really easy, so it's just quite time consuming, but I'm really happy so far. I've just realised I've missed that tiny triangle there, so need to go back and do that. I'm hoping I can probably do the rest in about 2 to 3 hours. Even though it took quite a while, it was so easy to do. Because our stencil was quite large, it was 45 centimetres, it's quite heavy, so it didn't move that much at all when we were sponging on. I would definitely recommend, if you are using a smaller stencil, then definitely tape each stencil every time you're moving onto a new tile. Last tile, we have got this much paint left. and we've gone through probably every season of the year today. Snow, sleet, hot, wind. Well, we've done it. It's the last one. Oh my God. We're finished. Okay, so I forgot to do this little bit the other day, so I thought I would just do it now on film to show you how easy it actually is to do the tiles that are incomplete, the ones around the side. So obviously the stencil isn't going to fit on that. It just shows how flexible the stencil is, that you can just move it into whatever position you like. And if you were taping, then you could just tape this to the wall here and do it. I'm just going to take my sponge. This is the last of the paint that we've got, and just dab away. In the order, you're actually also sent a tile that's 1/4 of the size, and you can use these on those hard to reach tiles. And they send 2 of the large tiles, so you can do the job twice as quick with 2 people. This is the stencil. It's actually massive because what they've done is the 45 centimeters goes from here to here, and then this strip here is the additional onto the next tile. In the stencil, you've got it like this, and you can actually do the second bit here, and then it means that when you peel it off, you line up on this bit with your new bits, and then you do the whole thing again, so it just keeps it quite uniform. Obviously, because our stencil was 1 centimetre bigger than our slabs, because they didn't have one that fit perfectly, we had to do the edges a bit smaller, which took more time, so it will be so much quicker if you have the stencils the correct size of your slabs. But overall, we were happy with the more rustic kind of look, and the detail kind of just eliminates all kind of flaws in it as well, whether that be uneven slabs or stenciling or paint splodges. Bled here, so I hadn't cleaned the stencil properly and bits just bled through, but it actually, it's barely noticeable. I'm just so pleased with it. It was less than £100 to do, and it has just got such a fantastic look to it now. Very Mediterranean, I think. It was really easy. You don't need any special skills to do this. It takes a weekend, and it was totally worth it. Also, I find that the grey that I wasn't too fond of at the start as the base coat has just totally blended in now, because the detail on the stencil charcoal colour just kind of removes that kind of really bright grey. To be honest, there's actually not much I would do differently if we were to do this again. I would definitely say check proper weather reports, because Apple Weather did not state that it was going to snow whilst we were doing our patio. I would clean the stencil more often so there was no bleeds, and just definitely have 2 people do it, because it just goes so much quicker. It is completely worth it for a weekend of a bit of DIY in your garden with no huge cost or massive prep. It is such a brilliant glow up. Really hope you enjoyed my vlog, and if you have any questions about the patio that I haven't included in here, just pop them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Also check out the step-by-step blog post guide on doing your patio overhaul, and yeah, I'll be back next week with another video. Bye!